Hello everyone and welcome to episode 42 of my World of Warcraft Let's Play. Today should be a very fun and exciting day as we are going to do a ton of things in this episode, and we are going to hopefully reach level 40 and go unlock our mount, which should be really fun, and I've been super excited for this episode and I've been waiting a long time for this. But starting off at the start of this episode, we are going to go ahead and do some of the elite quests in the Alterac Mountains that has us fighting some of the Crush Ridge ogres around here. And we have already been all around the mountains and we've already fought ogres here, and at the end of the start here, I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick look at some Yeti caves and some ogre caves just to explore the map a little bit. But right here we are just going to be fighting a ton of these ogres, and I kind of started off fighting the ogres by myself here, and then I finally found someone else who was willing to come and help me fight some of the ogres. He only needed the tiara, but he helped me fight the 15 Crush Ridge warmongers that I needed in order to finish this quest, so then I was able to finish it. But we've already talked about all the lore and story here, so while we fight ogres for a couple of minutes, I kind of just wanted to bring up a little bit of a topic about Let's Plays, because I've been thinking a lot about this recently, about lengths of Let's Plays, and I've had a ton of different lengths of videos in this Let's Play series, and then in my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series as well, there's a wide variety, and I've learned a lot of stuff with video duration as well as many other things in the last year of making videos, and I feel like I'm getting better, but of course I still have a lot of improvement to go. But I think what I feel for a World of Warcraft video is I think 20 minutes seems to be the perfect spot for World of Warcraft, and of course I have to present content in a very different way in order to make a 20-minute video seem worth it compared to a 45-minute video. But starting off at the start of this Let's Play series, I went for 45 minutes to an hour, and I really went really slowly and went through all the quests and stuff, where I think now I'm kind of speeding things up a little bit as I've learned what I like and how I like to present World of Warcraft in a video, where now I do more content but the videos are even shorter, and I think that's just overall better for how I want to present World of Warcraft. And I think that's kind of the case for most games going forward, where this is kind of just something I've learned about making videos, where this seems to be the better option that people like more, and I feel more fulfilled, and I feel the videos are higher quality. Of course I still have much more improvement to go to make the videos even more higher quality, but I think with stuff like my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, that's not really how I want to do it, where I think Guild Wars 2, in my opinion, how I'm doing it right now with 45-minute videos where I'm really talking through every single thing we're doing, is pretty good, very effective, and it seems people enjoy that. And it would probably be better if I made shorter videos if I wanted to grow, but I think as far as my Guild Wars 2 Let's Play series, I don't care too much about growing that, and that's something that's purely 100% just something that I want to do. And kind of my main goal with that series is to make a very long series, where this series will probably be 50 to 60, maybe 70 episodes long, where my Guild Wars 2 series hypothetically is kind of unlimited, but I'm expecting to be 1,000, 2,000 episodes long, years and years from now, assuming I'm still making videos years and years from now. But beyond all that, here is the Yeti areas that I was talking about earlier, and then of course here is some more of the ogres and some caves around here that is just part of the Alterac Mountains. But now that we are done fighting those ogres, let's go ahead and redirect our attention to fighting the Syndicate. And if you take a look at our map here, we've spent all of our time over here in the ruins of Alterac and right here, and then we spent some time several episodes ago down here in the foothills, and we were also over here by Delaran. But now we are going to head into the last area of Alterac that we have not explored yet, and we have a few different quests that we are going to be working on. We have one quest right here called Dark Council, where we are going to fight 4 Argus Shadow Mages, and then we are going to fight the leader of this area, Nagaz, which is way further here in the northwest. And then we are also going to go ahead and fight a bunch of Syndicate around here to get some of their rings, and then we are also just going to probably farm a few extra Syndicate just to get a little bit of experience, because we are getting very close to level 40. But here we are in Strandbrad, I believe is how you pronounce it, and this is the main town outside of Alterac in the Kingdom of Alterac, and then there are a few different buildings and stuff around here as well, which we will see as we kind of explore this area. But this is kind of just another nice piece of immersive lore and stuff, where it's this town in this kingdom, and it's kind of an enemy contested town because it's controlled by the Syndicate, which are the former members and like leaders of the Kingdom of Alterac, and we are actually fighting like a bunch of different syndicate, and some of them have Alterac signet rings, which basically marks that they were once a noble of the Kingdom of Alterac, and that's what we were kind of collecting for this quest. 2 episodes ago we were in Stromgarde and we were doing all the quests around there, and that was also a lot of syndicate stuff, and we were exploring a lot of syndicate stuff in the Alterac Mountains, and they're kind of the same level, but I do kind of consider Stromgarde to be like the end of the syndicate story in classic WoW, where this is kind of like the step like right before it, where we're doing stuff around here. But there's actually a quest where I think we can fight Aliden Perenolde. It might be an Horde only quest, but that might be something we look at in the future. But there is like a really interesting quest that happens where when we go back to South Shore and we turn in the signet rings, I believe, from noble deaths, a world event is going to like happen, and basically there's going to be a bunch of like syndicate assassins that try to like assassinate like the magistrate, similar to like the previous magistrate who was assassinated. But we are going to have an opportunity to like defend him, but it's really weird because oftentimes the guards will kind of just deal enough damage to the assassins and it'll just kill the assassins, and then you won't be able to get like the quest that they drop, and then you're basically kind of locked out of that quest. But if anyone else turns in noble deaths, you can get the quest, but then also like people can steal the kill from you as well. So it's just like a really interesting like quest, and I think that leads to Aliden Perenolde, and we'll explore that potentially, but for now we can go ahead and just work on these 2 quests. We have one more Shadow Mage here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and wait a second before we kill the Shadow Mage, because I'll do a tiny bit more damage, because the Shadow Mage is going to transform into an undead spellcaster, I believe, which you can see right there, and he's just coming and attacking me with the swords, but we can finish off the Shadow Mage there with our Fire Blast. And we also have a solid chest right here. But this is kind of like a really interesting like story arc within the Syndicate, where the Syndicate are kind of being controlled by an organization known as the Argus Wake, which Nagaz is the leader of, and we basically kind of just kill him and like stop this. But basically the Argus Wake are like a sect of cultists that like work for the Burning Legion, and they're basically trying to use the Syndicate to like take over this part of the world and to be able to like do something in order to bring the Legion to Azeroth, which is like one of like the Legion's big goals, because they want to come here and they want to like destroy Azeroth and like take it over and like all that stuff. I have like some memories of this town from like way back in the day, where I remember like running through here and like running past it, but I never did the quests here because like back in the day I didn't like use questing. I didn't know the world super well, so I like didn't pick up like too many quests and stuff like that. But I just like ran through here, and I remember it being like kind of scary because it was like a big town with like a lot of like syndicate in it, and I might have been like under leveled, but I think I was heading to like Western Plaguelands or something, and I must have been like over the level or something, but like when I was younger it was like scary or something. But I just have that kind of like connection with this town, with it being kind of like a distant town that like you ran past, and it's like kind of scary. So we have another NPC in here, which I guess is not attacking us, but this wizard is attacking us, and I'm not entirely sure who this NPC is. I'm going to assume it's for a Horde quest in this area, but we can go ahead and eliminate him as well. Here's Jailer Burhin, or however you want to pronounce that. And then just 1 or 2 more Frostbolts, and then we need 1 more Shadow Mage, and actually it looks like I can break the stun there, and then he ran off into here. Oh, and then we have Civilian Gol'dir, which is, his name is Gol'dir, but because we're Alliance, we have the civilian tag in front of it, which is someone we don't want to kill because it's just a random member of the Horde that's like an NPC. It's like a non-combatant, so this is definitely like a Horde quest. I am assuming you come in here and free him, and then you have to get the key from the jailer in order to free him, but there's a chest in here that we can open up, and there's also a Syndicate Spy that we can fight. We got 1 chest already from like the Town Hall, so there's like a 2nd chest in here. We got a Jade there, which is nice, and 2 Iron Ore, and some Greater Healing Potions, but we got a Black Silk Pack right there, which is a 10 slot bag, and if we come into here, these are also 10 slot bags, so I'm just going to go ahead and learn this just so we can learn some tailing recipes. It's kind of similar to our Red Woolen bag, which is an 8 slot bag, just like our Woolen bag, which is an 8 slot bag, but this is just a small silk pack, but it costs 2 more silk cloth, and it costs a black dye instead of heavy leather, and it also costs 1 more fine thread. But it's like the same like size of bag, but it's kind of like a cosmetic thing, which like doesn't really matter too much because all this means is like the icon down here is a little different, but it's like kind of nice. Like I know some people only like having brown bags because they have their backpack here, which you like have to have on, I believe, but then you can just have it be all brown so it all matches down here. But like most of the time people tend to just go for whatever bag is the biggest because that is the nicest to have. But here is the last Argus Shadow Mage that we need, so we can go ahead and finish this guy off, and then we can go ahead and start heading north out of Strombrad now that we're done with this quest, and we can go ahead and fight more Syndicate up here, and then we can also make our way towards the last quest we have to do in this area. The Syndicate up here are a little bit higher level, level 36, 37 compared to like the level 34, 35 over there in Strombrad, which will be nice because they will give us more experience. And then there's Hulking mountain lions around here as well, which are like level 33, 34, which are like no threat at all, but I'm just going to run past them because we don't really need to fight them. I think this area is, I say this about a lot of places, but I really think this area is like one of my favorite locations just aesthetically in World of Warcraft, because it's just like really beautiful. And when we come down here, we'll be on the lake and we'll see that there's like multiple buildings down here, and then we'll see Capital City off in the distance, and then we just have the mountains of Alterac right there, and we can see Strombrad, the town hall there off in the distance, and it's just like really cool. It's just like a very nice kind of like very human area, I guess, very like fantasy like, I guess. But we do have to be careful as we come up here because there are some invisible mobs around here, so we need to make sure that we don't pull too many things. We'll probably be able to handle 2 or maybe even 3 mobs pretty effectively just by ourselves, but of course we don't want to take any extra risks if we don't have to. And there's one right there, so we have a Syndicate assassin, so we can go ahead and fight this one off. And then I think there's like another one right here which I might go ahead and try to track down a little bit. We even see Delaren off in the distance there, and there's another building all the way over there, and there's an assassin right there next to that table. But just a lot of cool stuff in this area. It's just a very pretty and aesthetically pleasing area, in my opinion at least. I think once we're done here, we'll go ahead and run down the side of Lordomere Lake here just so we can see some of these areas. And I think the last thing we need to explore on this map, even though there's no real rewards for exploring everything, I still like to do it, is this area right here. But of course I might be missing something because like the map in World of Warcraft is always kind of hard to read to know if there's like an extra location here or there. Looking into this building here, we can see Nagaz right there, level 40 orc, and there are at least 2 Syndicate in front of him, and there's also a worn wooden chest there that we can go ahead and pick up an item from. But let's go ahead and we'll just try to pull the Syndicate assassin first, and I definitely want to attack him while he's like further away, I think. So hopefully this will be good. But it looks like this Enforcer's coming, and I'm kind of expecting, but it looks like Nagaz is not coming with the Enforcer. But now we can go ahead and just finish off this assassin, and then we can finish off the Enforcer, and then restore our mana and health to be able to fight Nagaz. Looks like that assassin went a little further away than I wanted, but we might have to fight the Enforcer, but it should be okay. We are done with the Noble Deaths quest, so we should be out of here pretty quickly, but I might just fight a few more Syndicate just to pad our experience a little bit. But we do have a quest to turn into Stormwind, and then we have 2 quests right now to turn into South Shore, and then we'll have 2 more in just a moment. Let's go ahead and start casting some Frostbolts to Nagaz. I don't see, oh, there's 1 assassin right there, but we should be fine. I might clear this building because I feel like there was something up top, but it might be for like the Horde side again. But let's go ahead and just get this Frostbolt off, and then I might get some distance between Nagaz here, just so he's not attacking us, because he has 2 weapons, so he's kind of like making us like stagger a little bit as we cast our Frostbolts. But he is finished off, so we got his head. So let's go ahead and come into here, open this worn wooden chest, and we can go ahead and get an item that is the ensorcelled parchment, or however you pronounce that. Let's go ahead and fight this assassin first and look at the top floor of this building just to kind of see. I think it's like any other human building, but I feel like there is something up here. Opening this quest here says this parchment is enchanted with a spell, rendering it indecipherable. The 1 word at the top of the paper can be read, Nagaz, so we can deliver this to South Shore. I do hear like a lot of footsteps above me, so I feel like I probably shouldn't go up there, but why not? Oh, we have Lord Aliden Perenolde right here, actually. So I think this is a quest that we can come back to. But there is Lord Aliden Perenolde. He is who is above us. And then I saw another NPC in there. But I have a feeling this might be something we return to. If it's not, we will not be returning here. But I'm going to go ahead and put some information either way down in the description, as I've kind of learned a little bit more about this quest. This might be something we have to return to in the future as well. I feel like actually this is a quest only for the Horde where we fight Lord Aliden Perenolde. But yeah, go ahead and read the description if you're interested in learning more about that. But that is really cool because that is basically the leader of the Syndicate and like the leader of the Kingdom of Alterac, because his father is dead now, I believe. And it's kind of just like a not great situation for him too, because like his father destroyed his kingdom and then he's left with the remnants and he kind of just has to deal with that. But we have Nancy Vachos right here, which I think is a quest from a dungeon where you actually fight her husband in the Scarlet Monastery, I believe. We also have Grandpa Vachos, which we are going to completely ignore. I think we have to fight like both of them, but I think that's again like a Horde only quest, but that's kind of cool. But we just discovered Misty Shore here. We can see Capital City right there. We saw it a long time ago when we were over here in Delirium, or actually not too long ago, only a few episodes. But we are going to go ahead and run past Delirium, which we've already explored, and I'm going to go ahead and return to South Shore because we have 3 quests here, or 4 quests to turn in, and then we can go ahead and hopefully maybe pick up another one. I actually have a Hearthstone which I might go ahead and use, and I see an undead mage right there fighting some turtles, which is fun. Let's go ahead and Hearthstone back to South Shore because that just makes my life a little bit easier. So back in South Shore, let's go ahead and just run around here a little bit. Let's go ahead and turn in this quest first, which we picked up from the chest right next to Nagaz. And now we have a quest to go speak with Prospector Stormpike in Ironforge so he can make sense of this letter because it is indecipherable. Let's go ahead and run into here and we can talk to Marshal Redpath. And we can go ahead and turn in this quest and we can get a new wand, which is actually better than what we currently have equipped. But it is a fire damage wand, so that should be good against like water elementals, just like our shadow damage wand there. And then let's go ahead and run into here, and then this is going to be like the situation that we kind of had earlier where I'm going to go ahead and try to pick up this quest. So let's go ahead and turn in Noble Deaths, and then let's go ahead and run straight out here because I think there's about to be something that spawns. So nothing spawned. Let's go ahead and run back in here and turn in the other quest. So we turned that quest in, so that is all done. Let's go ahead and come out here and see if anything happens. So I was just reading some things. Let's go ahead and come back here and see if we can find anything back here, because apparently someone said they will spawn back here a little bit, and I'm not really seeing anything right now. So I was just doing more research about this quest, and it really seems like nobody has any idea how it works. So I might go ahead and do the other quest that we just got and then return here in a little bit. So I am going to go ahead and return to Ironforge, and then we can turn in this quest and then come back here. One person said they will spawn after this quest happens, and then someone else said another quest, someone else said another quest, someone said it's like timed, so we kind of just have to wait here and then it'll randomly happen at some point. And you can kind of tell that it's going to happen when there's like extra guards in the town, but I feel like there's not extra guards right now, but maybe there are, I'm not entirely sure. With my luck, I'm going to click Ironforge and then I'm going to see them starting to spawn. So let's go ahead and just leave. So here is Prospector Stormpike. Let's go ahead and turn this quest into him. And then I thought there was another quest from this, but I guess there's not. So let's go ahead and head to a new place. So I am back in South Shore. Let's go ahead and wander around here a little bit, and I'm going to see if we can find any assassins around here. And then I think I'm just going to fight the Naga for a brief moment. So I heard rumors that there are some assassins around here, and I don't quite see anybody. I don't care too much about this quest. It's not super interesting for me. The part that's interesting about it is that it's so like mysterious, I guess, where people don't fully understand how it works or how you get it. But I heard someone say that they might be under the docks, but I do not see anything. But now I'm going to go ahead and head back to Alterac and we can fight some ogres just to get a little bit more experience. So I now believe we have more than enough experience in order to level up to level 40 when we turn in this quest. So let's go ahead and teleport to Stormwind, and then we can go ahead and run to Stormwind Keep, turn in this quest, and then we are going to unlock a ton of stuff. So here we are, and we can go ahead and turn in the Perenolde Tiara, and we will get 1 gold and 50 silver, and we have now officially leveled up to level 40, which is a huge milestone. I feel like level 20, 40, and 60 are like the biggest milestones in this game. So we are now technically 2/3 of the way done with leveling up this character, but of course it is a little bit of an exponential journey. It's not exactly linear, But now we are going to go ahead and come into our talent tree, and we now have a brand new talent, and we actually can now unlock the final talent in the frost tree here, which is called Ice Barrier, which instantly shields you, absorbing 438 damage, lasts 1 minute while the shield holds, spells will not be interrupted. So this is a very good defensive ability, and we can go ahead and learn this, and then I'm going to go ahead and put it straight onto my bar. So let's go ahead and come down here, and then we can use this. Let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. We just have a nice little shield around us, like a magical aura, and we can see it's kind of like frosty, which is very cool. But now that we are level 40 and we have unlocked the last talent here, we have a few different decisions that we can make here, where we can either keep going into the frost talent tree and we can become even better at dealing frost damage, or we can start going into the fire tree or into the arcane tree. And I'm not 100% sure what I want to do yet, but I'm thinking definitely not the fire one, but we might put some stuff into frost, we might put some stuff into arcane. I'm not exactly sure, so I'll think about that. But of course, with leveling up to level 40, we can now go ahead and talk to our mage trainer here, and we have another quest to talk to Tabitha, which I was going to go ahead and return to at some point. But now we can learn a ton of stuff. So finally, we have a new rank of Conjure Water. We now have level 40, rank 4 Conjure Water, and then we also have Polymorph here, which I should go ahead and pick up as well. And then I believe that is everything in the arcane that I want to learn. Coming down here, we have still the same old for fire, which I don't really want to learn anything. And then coming into frost, we have a new rank of Frost Nova and then a new ice armor. So with all that, let's go ahead and put on our new Conjure Water, which we only get 2 of at a time now, which is very sad, but much better water. But I'll go ahead and put that over there. Can get rid of this old one, and now we have this nicer one here that restores 1992 mana. Then of course Polymorph for rank 3, I'll go ahead and throw that down there. And then I just forgot that there's actually one more thing we can learn up here, but let's go ahead and get Frost Nova on our bar. It is right here, rank 3, so this is even better, deals more damage, and it keeps them stunned for the same amount of time, but it's just more damage. And I think it has a better chance of hitting against higher level enemies. And then the last thing we have is our ice armor that we can go ahead and put right there. Let's go ahead and talk to the portal trainer here, because now that we are level 40, we can unlock portal and not just teleport. So we can open up a portal to Stormwind from anywhere in the world, and most of the time we just want to stick to teleport because it's cheaper for us. But portal is nice to be able to allow a lot of people through, and I think we can basically allow an unlimited amount of people through as long as it lasts, which I think is a minute long or something. But this is very nice because now we could go to other cities and we can portal people to Stormwind if we go to Darnassus or Ironforge, and then we could also portal people to Darnassus when we learn how to teleport to there. But we just have this on our bar now, and I'll go ahead and pick up the Rune of Portals just so we have some. And of course we have some Runes of Teleportations that I stocked back up on, and I bought an extra one because I'm planning on using a Rune of Teleportation soon. But let's go ahead and buy some of those. And I guess I will reorganize my inventory a little bit here. I have a ton of stuff up here that I just kind of have in my bags, but I'll go ahead and put the fish liver oil back down there. And then the conjured mineral water will go right there, and then let's scoot this light feather over. So then we have our basic teleport rune right here, and then we have our big portal rune that can go right there. But talking to the reagent vendor, we can go ahead and buy some Rune of Portals. So let's go ahead and buy, I think we can have 10 of these in a stack. So I'll go ahead and just stock all the way up. It costs a little bit less than 2 gold, but I think it's worth it just to have them on hand for in case we ever want to teleport someone somewhere. But now, the moment that we have been waiting for, we are level 40, which means we can unlock our first mount. So as a human, we have access to horses, and then we have access to the other 3 racial mounts as well, and then there are some other mounts that we can find in particular areas around the world. But for the most part, we just have our 4 racial ones that we're basically only ever going to be able to look at this part of the game. But if you come into our reputation here, we are revered with Stormwind, which I think will give us a discount on the mounts. It might be only honored you have to get to in order to get the discount on the mounts, and then the discount goes for other vendors. But as a human, we only have access to horses right now through Stormwind. And if we wanted to ride a ram from Ironforge or a Mechanostrider from the Gnomeregan Exiles or a Night Saber from Darnassus, we'd have to get all the way to Exalted with one of those factions. But we don't have to get Exalted in order to ride the mount of our faction. So we only have the opportunity to ride our mount for the Stormwind faction right now. So let's go ahead and return all the way back to East Vale Logging Camp, which we were doing quests there like 39 episodes ago in like episode 3, and we are now going to return there, and we are going to go ahead and learn how to ride a mount. But as we run there, let's go ahead and do something a little fun that I did when we reached level 20, and I actually did it while we were running past the Red Ridge Logging Camp. So I want to go ahead and go into our chat box here and completely ignore what's going on in general chat, and I'm going to type /played, and now we can see how long we have been playing this character for. So we have played this character for 2 days, 11 hours, 59 minutes, and 51 seconds, which basically means that we have been playing on this character for 60 hours now, which is a lot of time. Of course, that is 60 hours spread out across about like 41-ish weeks. Because I upload this video like once a week now, but I think like the first like 8 episodes were like every 5 days. And then of course we have been playing at this level for 9 minutes because we leveled up to level 40 9 minutes ago. But as we cross the bridge here, we are almost at East Vale Logging Camp. And then if we remember back to like episode 3, I think we were talking about this when we were here, we have the horse breeder here. But now we can go ahead and talk to them like 33 levels or however many levels later, and we can finally unlock our mount. And here we are, we have the stables here, and we have a ton of different mounts around us. And then we have Rando Hunter here, which will teach us how to ride a horse, and Katie Hunter, which will sell us a horse. So let's go ahead and talk to Rando Hunter, and you can say, I seek training to ride a steed. And then we have horse riding here, which costs us 18 gold. So let's go ahead and learn that. And now we have the ability to ride a horse, but now we can go ahead and buy a horse, which if you talk to the horse breeder here, we can buy from her, and we have 6 different options here, 3 for the level of riding that we have right now, where we have 3 different horses that we can ride, and then we can see all the horses that we can ride right here. And if you come into here, we have other options as well, but I want to do something a little bit special here, and I don't want to buy a horse here, even though it is kind of like the better option because it is cheaper here, I believe. But I want to go to a very special location because it is a very special thing with the horses here in World of Warcraft, where there's actually another option to buy another one of them from a completely different vendor in Minotha Harbor. If you remember, I think I mentioned it a couple of times when we were there. So I'm going to go ahead and use a teleport to Ironforge, a little bit of foreshadowing when I bought an extra one, and then we are going to go ahead and go to Minotha Harbor. Flying into Minotha Harbor, if you come into our skills here, you can see we have the horse riding skill, and I believe in Vanilla WoW we only have to learn the horse riding once, and we can go ahead and basically ride any other horse in the game. So we can buy the level 60 horse and then we can ride it instantly, and this gets changed in the Burning Crusade, where you learn a riding skill and then you can ride any mount. You have to learn how to ride like a higher level mount in order to ride higher level mounts. Where in this game you learn horse riding and ram riding and like stuff like that. But here we are in Minotha Harbor, and we can talk to the horse breeder here, and then we can go ahead and say we would like to buy from you. And then we have one additional mount that we can buy here, a black stallion, which I think I want to be a little bit unique here. And it looks like we actually have the discount here because they are part of Stormwind, which is nice. But I noticed there's a white stallion right here, which is actually a mount that we cannot purchase. At least I don't believe we can, but we can go ahead and get this black stallion right there. So let's go ahead and finally, once and for all, buy a black stallion. And then we can go ahead and keep this in our inventory here because we don't have it go into our character panel or whatever, as we see in future versions of the game. And I'm going to actually go ahead and fully reorganize this once again. And there we go. And I'll go ahead and drag this black stallion down here onto my action bar. And now we can ride a horse. Let's go. Oh, we will bind this, and then we can go ahead and hop onto it, which takes 3 seconds. And now we are on a horse, which is really cool. This is a moment that I've been super excited for, and we are finally here. And now we can ride it around, and we can see, well, I would have helped that person, but we can see that if you hover over this, it increases speed by 60%. So we are now running 60% faster than we used to. And then the next mount that we can get is 100% faster. But this is so nice to just be able to navigate the road faster. You see this person right here who is running on foot. Of course, we were running on foot, but we had Blink, which let us like speed up our journey a little bit faster. But now we are running past this person and we can just go ahead and get to anywhere we want a little bit faster. And it's just really, really nice, and people really like mounts in World of Warcraft. And of course, really all mounts are in World of Warcraft compared to like a game like Guild Wars 2, is that WoW mounts are just like a speed boost compared to like Guild Wars 2's mounts, which are, in my opinion, and in most people's opinions, significantly better. But still, in World of Warcraft, and especially Classic WoW, I feel like, where we have spent 40 levels running around the world on foot, we can now travel a little bit faster. But I think I'm going to go ahead and call this episode good here. In between this episode, I'm going to go ahead and return to Stormwind, and I'll go ahead and throw some of the stuff up on the auction house and maybe do a little bit of tailoring. But we are going to start a new adventure on our new mount next episode. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. I very much enjoyed playing through this one, and I hope you all are taking good care of yourselves. Remember to drink some water, check your posture, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time in the world of Azeroth. Goodbye.